or 9 players here in Misty Meadows. This is going to be a quick one and an explosive one, not one that we're used to seeing. Yes, a lot of players drop here, but not this amount. This might be every single player who's playing in the Invitational this weekend landing in one single game, and that's the beauty of 300 players playing in a matchmaking style, is you never know what's going to happen if there's going to be 9 players at your drop spot, or uncontested.
Hey, drop spots become hot and then super heat up in moments like these, absolutely. If you look at the way placement's handed out, you want to get down to that 75 as fast as possible sometimes if you are on that aggressive run. Because sometimes winning is just not enough. You need those big feelings, a nice turnaround from BallaTW, who gets a big pickup there. Zeno now taken out once again. He's got to move in just to make sure he doesn't get shot up anymore. Trying to control a few walls, finding out exactly where this player is hiding. It'll be the attic, and the cleaning man's there, wipes out the dust, gets that elimination right into his overall count of 4 before this game even gets started. And because of the speed of how much looting happens, you basically have like 8 moving chests walking around with loadouts. Every single individual here has looted a few houses. BallaTW as well is the only individual to do it in such style. A double ramp flip to pick that one up.
And a loadout to boot. That will put anybody out here to shame, because there's just a cabin's worth of loot out here. Tohaj cleans it up, but I think it costs because BallaTW's right there on top to end things quickly for Tohaj.
The pump might not connect. The cheeky just one tack from the AR in this box fight. You're talking about the loot he has. I'm looking at the ammo count in total right now. He can just stay online longer compared to his opponents, and because of that, be even more confident. Straight in the box. Nice cone replay. This player just trying to survive right now, but it's not going to be possible. BallaTW with the 6th pickup, I think at record speed that we've seen so far, and it's just because of how volatile the system is and the fact that there was about 10 people landing Misty Meadows.
And he was ready for it. This is preparation. This is playing your cash cups every time to the fullest to have these W key games where you just play that many people in the cash cups. Or in your game to start things off. Mongrel in a big build fight. This is way above the hotel. And going so high, I'm getting a little nervous for him, but he's up there and he's hanging. Metal being expended. He's got no more builds and he's up at the top, but he does take out Primsy Revenge from yesterday. And oh my goodness, this build fight is so high. Thankfully, mostly Metal. Thankfully, it's not going to be able to get chopped too quickly. He's going to take the siphon on the way down. He's got to be careful, though. I don't think he realized that this player's right next to him. Right so near. And there it is, the beams. Does lose his shield, but he has minis to get right back up to that. And he does back up into the garage. Finds a spot where he can build all 4 walls. No gaps left at all. But he is there. He goes right back up, though. Opens up the gap, and now he just listens. Where did he go? Is there potential here for me to go anywhere else? Yes, back down to the garage, and I get a big pot to put myself up to 200 HP. Just got to find the time now.
Ensar right now has the HP advantage, but Mongrel will quickly try to just put the winning side to himself. It's not going to be possible. Big tags traded. He goes down, and a little bit of a celebration from Ensar here. One and done, chase down. He's going to try to set it up once again. Needs a big tag here. Will it be from that big pump shotgun? It's Bad Sniper and Huddy that take big trades, but BallaTW didn't pick up the first. The next one might go to him as well, and that could be huge. It's easy, and it's cleaned up. The timing, impeccable.
That was beautiful from BallaTW too. Didn't just dive that box. Yes, he got the first one on a Bad Sniper right head on, straight up. Starting to close, we finally reveal second zone. He's got 8 eliminations already. This is ridiculous.
He's basically already made that big endgame moment happen. Right now, just looking to get a little bit more, but possibly, yep, biting off a little bit more than he can chew. That being said, the timing of that game, the amount of points he got, I think that's a good run.
That was probably the most efficient game.
And in the next game, things can be so different. You can have one player just ruin the entire lobby, even mid-game glory. That's Julian Calm. We saw this man in the final 1v1 situation. Especially if you just did this last trade and you lost it, essentially. You had to use so much of your heals to get here. This is now a rundown again of what happened before. Hopefully he can actually dive into this box. He does, but now he's in his enemy's space. Doesn't matter when you have the drum gun. I think that's just complete security. You're never really in trouble box to box. He lands the shots. Now he is the king of the zone.
Yes, maybe. It's like, hey, you have the position, you have center zone, you have the launch pad, you have all this stuff that will last you to endgame, but if you're not doing anything with it, that's the difference. And speaking of, remember the last game from Drivig? It was actually against Caxi in that zone fight. all the way up in the north side of the map. So didn't have what he needed to actually go through in that one. It was an uncomfortable situation overall. But this time, he has the ingredients. He just needs to spend a little bit more time in the kitchen.
To beam in first, try to go for a little bit more pressure. And get a free elimination pickup. Doesn't really find anything just yet. No mobility in his kit. He actually does pick up shift. 25 seconds are left to decide the fate.
But I think a lot rides on how players position around him. He did not build up. He didn't waste that time. He finds another one. Yes! Onto Skylar, who we watched earlier. And I think he's going to try to dive these materials. It might be worth. You know she's looking for something bigger. She's looking to get on the scales of wins and not just the mediocre performances. Not necessarily mediocre, because it was something like 17th, but she's a trooper. And yes, another one out of the sky. An Elim and possibly Harpoon? No, it's a little bit too far out of range.
Still, this is kind of where it all starts. A very good position for a base. You're talking about getting more points. You want to be up in a base watching launch patterns fly and picking them off as they do so. Right now, though, Moki pushing her lead of sorts, actually, in a very good position now. A nice decision to expand the base, move exactly where you were before on the edge of zone to a more central position, to have a say at other people, possibly the whole lobby moving overall. If you look at Artur, that's where she would have been. Just one slight elevation change and a push forward in layers. She looks so much better now. Teak and Toos looking like ants compared to where Moki is in position. And she has a launch pad as well to boot after she's done with what she needs to do here. The risk, though, for getting here, it was only held up by one floor, one stair. It gets shot down still, though. She has that backup in mobility. The Harpoon is there in case she needs those mats back. The game is very much in her hands.
And it was a quick switch off of that wood directly into the metal to make this fortified, make this good for her. So solid switch. She does have the launch pad. Yesterday her performance was 42nd, 118 points. So she's up there with 140-ish so far today. One thing to note is that her day 2 performance was what propelled her to be at this stage, because she wasn't in the top 300 after day 1 of week 1. So maybe if history is as it is, she will have a stronger performance on day 2. Everything is possible now for Moki. The potential is hers.
And now it's all about what's happening in the game. Moki looking to move forward. Just one elimination so far. The mat's running out too, because we saw how much she had to basically invest in that position before. She needs to find some type of elimination close by here in Harpoon range to try to get a say in the rest of the competition. Big shots over towards the Storm. 264 tags, but not going to have a say as to what happens next. She's in position. She knows where people are weak. Lazen is right beside her on her wall. Teak now and Artur above. Scrib controlling the whole lobby as well. The 7th zone locks in and she moves forward. Back to back though. It will be Lazen that plays the trap and pops her, unfortunately. Health pool down to 0. He's on the back end now. Has to use a few floppers to get straight back to action. Around all his bills, nowhere in there. It'll be Kiko all the way up top, controlling the whole lobby, but Scrib is there right beside him as well. Now we look towards the bottom side. Savage is here. Mexi on the same layer as him. He's just getting his entire loadout structured, and it's the drum gun, flopper, RPG pump combination. I'm getting a few DreamHack vibes with this position he's in right now. Could it be a repeat of an insane game that takes out big names all the way at the bottom of this crop field? He's looking to harvest, has the trap set up with these floor edits, doesn't actually find them for now. Moves forward first. He's looking for the first shot to pounce on eliminations.
Yes! He gets it! The RPG with the drum gun. Usually it's the shotgun that follows up, but with that in his hands, he's going to make it really, really work. And with 3 eliminations so far for Mr. Savage, even looking back now as his own bounces in this direction, almost finds a player in his box. Yes, he does! The wall too, but he gets away. A mouse escapes right through the little hole that he's made. Mr. Savage now, though, 9 players remaining total in this. He reloads the RPG, makes sure everything is ready for him to pounce on the next. We'll see if that actually shows itself, and yes, Trulex down and out.
A general on a battlefield. Mr. Savage is doing things in such cool fashion, keeping things so methodical, time after time, moving from box to box, but knowing all his options, and he has so many. He can lead with the drum gun, hit with those pump shots, and has the RPG as well in case things get hairy. He wants to get explosive. Still though, choosing to stay on low, and that's because that's where he can just collect the bones of every single person dropping down in quick desperation. It's Savage who you're going to be answering to with that drum gun RPG combination, still spraying through. Builds will not save you. Whoa, a harpoon dodge, making me dodge in real life. That was so close to his head. 5 eliminations now. Box to box, lands the next shot. A pickaxe is what he'll have to use because he's running out of steam, but still delivering damage. A grappler now in his toolkit, and oh my god, a 160 pump. Magwell goes down. A final 1v1 situation here for Mr. Savage. Has the launch pad, every option on the board. He's going to choose the coolest, the cleanest one. Looking for possible floppers. No. Not possible. It's Airwalks who gets him down from the sky, but you can't discredit what that man just did. The absolute clinic he put on low ground. Mr. Savage never left.